Yeah, he was unbelievable, really. You know,
Sean! We've got a call coming in, and it's more important than you. Hold on.
When you go to the hospital with your lovely lady, Matt, and she finds out she's pregnant, that's like basically you saying to her, can you go back and check what colour its hair is?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 11 of your favourite horse racing podcast. It is Unbridled with me, Matt Chapman, still here, and Paddy Brennan. Welcome, Pad. How have you been?
Yeah, I've been very well, Matt.
Have you?
Very well.
You're
tell myself all the time, you got to be like very well or fantastic. If you tell yourself that, you don't feel perfect, but you feel a lot better. Believe me, psychology. How are you? Great.
Well, better weeks, but all good. We are, of course, in association with Boylesports, and we've got so much to talk about on the show today. Ups and downs of the game at Cheltenham, Sergino injured, but plenty of other interesting aspects there. The return to form of Spilland's Tower for the fantastic Jimmy Mangan. So we'll get stuck into all the trials. Of course, Daily Racing Festival is just around the corner. Did I say Daily Racing Festival?
Yeah.
Did I? Dublin Racing Festival. We won't retake that.
DRF.
Should we retake it?
No,
let's just put it in. It's just an error. At least I didn't say Dubai Racing Festival.
Yeah.
Dublin Racing Festival, just around the corner. We'll get stuck into that as well. We'll start, though, with a bit of competition for your chance to win a new Unbridled travel mug.
Matt, I want one of them.
I haven't got one.
Honestly.
This one's mine.
In my car.
Apparently it's not, but it's the only one we've got at the moment.
But you know,
they made one. You'd have thought they'd have made at least a few just for bulk.
No, we've got one.
Have we?
I think so.
Have we? Anyway, it's a thing of beauty. As far as I can see, it's the finest stainless steel, which you'd expect.
Can I have that one sec, Matt?
Yeah, but I'm not sure anyone's going to want it after we've felt it.
No, but, you know, this is Unbridled special. But one of my pet hates in life, you know, when you walk into that coffee shop and you're in the queue and there's someone in front of you and they're walking up to the till. If I can take the top off. And they go, can I have a latte, please? With your own cup. Can you not just use the cup that's there? So I'm not saying we won't do that with Unbridled, but anyway, just wanted to say that.
How would you like to be the proud owner of this one, which has been stroked by me? It's been patted by Paddy. I shouldn't think there'll be many people going for this one. Who do you think will win at the Dublin Racing Festival this weekend? In the YouTube comments below on our YouTube channel, the At The Races YouTube channel, Unbridled can be found on, you know that, of course, because you're probably watching on there right now. But if you comment below who will win at the Dublin Racing Festival, it's probably wise with this just to wait until declaration time before commenting. I would imagine. That sounds sensible to me. Don't want to put a horse in that actually isn't declared.
No.
But if you think you know what's going to win anyway, just put it in. There it is. It's a thing of beauty. Now, as I've mentioned, we are in association with the mighty Boylesports. If you'd like to get £40 in free bets when you join and bet plus money back as a free bet, if second to the SB favourite, you just open your account with Boylesports. Check out the link in the YouTube description. Cheltenham Chaos. And we're not talking about Sergino to start with. I think we'll start with Draingate. At one stage, it felt like there were people at Cheltenham that thought that, you know those dramatic sinkhole pictures that you sometimes get on Instagram and things where half a road just disappears?
Yeah.
At one stage on Saturday, I genuinely thought that the whole of Cheltenham Racecourse was going to fall into the earth and would go to the core of whatever is underneath us all in the middle of the world.
Right.
It felt that dramatic. As it was a hole, quite a deep hole. But I don't think width-wise the biggest hole I've ever seen in my life.
So you've seen it? Did you?
No. But I saw the guy's arm go in it.
Yeah.
But if his arm had been this wide, he wouldn't have put his arm into it. His arm was this wide, and his arm went in it. Up to about here, I would say. I don't think I'm exaggerating or underplaying what happened. That's like that. Darkness was befalling the racetrack. In the end, the race-off was, about 25, 30 minutes late in the end. Close to darkness. The photo was crap, but ultimately everyone knew who had won as they passed the post because it was one of those clear-cut finishes that you knew who had won. Some people will say that's not the point because it could have been close, and of course they are right. Should they have run the race, Patrick? If you were riding in that bumper, would you have been happy to race?
100%, Matt. How you would not race in any race at Cheltenham is beyond me. Look, I wasn't there. I wasn't actually watching for once. I watched most races, but I was on a plane. But I caught up on it after, and yeah, I would definitely have raced. Like, it took them a bit longer than you would have liked to sort of how long they were looking at the hole, etc. Maybe just to get the rails moved, and you have to investigate. But Matt, no doubt about racing, and for anyone that thought they didn't want to race, I'm shocked, really, to be honest with you. I think, of course, you want to race, and you go on about danger, and well, if there's danger, you're not sure you ever race. There's so much to take into account. But seeing the interview on John Pullen, Matt, I didn't like it. Didn't like it. John Pullen's a good man, brilliant at his job. He's been at Cheltenham for a number of years, family man. He was humiliated. He didn't deserve that. Look, it was a long day at Cheltenham. We'll move on to Sergino in a minute. You know, there was a lot going on after that. But he got targeted and branded to be someone he wasn't, and a mistake that you couldn't divide, Matt. These things happen. Like, there was a question, how did the hole get there? You're asking him, how did the hole get there? Well, he didn't know the hole was there. It's basically like saying you've been in this situation when you go to the hospital with your lovely lady, Matt, and she finds out she's pregnant. That's like basically you saying to her, can you go back and check what colour its hair is?
Hold on. That scenario would be a hell of a lot worse than the hole in the ground at Cheltenham.
No, but you know what I mean?
That scenario would be something that would be extremely distressing.
John Pullen is getting these questions hit at him. Like there's a barrister coming at him with all these questions. You can't answer them, Matt. These things just happened. Look, no one was injured. It was a brilliant race. Didn't they start picking on the photo of the dark?
Okay.
Don't get me started on that.
Just to broaden that conversation about, because I whatever my personal feelings here, I have to play in a podcast a certain amount of devil's advocate when you state certain things. The fact that you've said no one knew would be, of course, the argument why the race shouldn't have taken place, because no one knew. So I think I have to say that is the counter argument, even whether you agree with it or not. I agree with you from the point of view it's all dangerous, but of course the counter argument to that is, well, this was something that was found that shouldn't have been there. It's added danger. So I get all those arguments. My take on it, for what it's worth, is that you have effectively, or maybe you don't have, and maybe this is one of the issues, but effectively for me, the clerk of the course is the man who knows that track better than anyone else, and better than a lot of people that were asking and also answering questions on this, including trainers and jockeys. The clerk of the course knows pretty much every blade of that grass. Now, on the day, he did not know that this hole was there. The hole was found, and having looked at it, those involved with that track were confident that this was not something that was going to spread. This was not something that they were going to find 100 more of in that moment. And it is worth pointing out that although no horse went over this hole and put a leg in it, which they could have done on the day, but they didn't, they did go over a lot of the other track and no other holes were found.
Yeah.
So I personally would have been happy to race as long as the clerk of the course races. The only thing with that, Paddy, is that if something goes wrong, like it did at Doncaster in the late 1980s, which a lot of people remember, Paul Cook, jockey, in all sorts of trouble that day, it's just who is to blame, who bears the responsibility of problems. And the simple truth is, Paddy, that even compared to those 1980s when they raced at Doncaster and obviously had no idea of the problems there on the day, the world is different, isn't it? It's the same with the Sun and the jockeys and the Sun now. The fact as we've said so many times on this podcast in the last 2 seasons we've been on, Peter Scudamore never left a fence out in his whole career for low sun. This is a multiple champion jockey. He rode in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of races, never left. Now, if it's a sunny week, you could leave out most obstacles in a week, let alone a career. So the only thing I would say is times have changed and people, rightly or wrongly, and I don't know whether it's right or wrong, just will not take any risk, will they? But the thing is, the moment you're born, life is a certain amount of risk. Oh. Racing is a risk. Jumping fences is a risk. There's an element of risk to everything. And again, the counter argument to that would be, well, this was added risk and we don't want added risk. But where do you stop in the end? You kind of, that's life, isn't it?
I think, yeah, Matt. You go to the questions that need to be answered to get that race on. The jockeys, you're happy to ride in it. Now, if you're not happy to ride in that as a jockey, you should not be riding. Because that hole is going to get past. You'd move the rail. You have a chance of winning an £80,000 graded hurl at Cheltenham.
But you'd value your life more than 80 grand, wouldn't you?
Not when I was a jockey, I wouldn't. Every day I went out, I risked my life, Matt. That's the way I had to ride. I couldn't think of my life when I'm out riding. That was it. Any man that didn't want to go out and ride, so I can give you the answer for every one of them jockeys, it's yes. Now, the man that can stop this race more than anyone on that track is the vet. If the vet comes out and says he's not happy to race, he wasn't happy with that hole, racing stopped, racing's abandoned. The right people agreed to run that race. And I 100% think it was the right thing to do. Matt, you spoke well, and that's the end of that.
We will talk about the big races, but just let's talk about Sergino separate. Horrible, just basically horrible. There were 2 weird things about that race. Firstly, I had not met anyone who had thought that Sergino would be held up last in that 4-runner race.
Could not agree more.
Obviously it was a plan. It's no criticism of anyone, but we talk about horse races every day of the week and we have opinions on them. And look, everyone knows on this show, I have absolute respect for Nico de Bonville. I think he's class as a person and I think he's class as a jockey. Everyone knows by now, I think, that you'd probably disagree with me with some of those points. That's fine. That's the game. By saying I'm amazed he was held up last is not a criticism of jockey, trainer, owner or anyone because they made that decision. It was a clear act to pounce on the new line.
Yeah.
But I was shocked.
Yeah.
The other thing is, before that injury, his tail was going like that.
Yeah. You're not the first one to have said that.
Yeah. Historically, that's not a good sign for any horse.
No.
Now, I don't know. Maybe because of the problems he's had, he's got something a bit different about him now than he had in the past. But his tail was like that. But obviously, his pelvic injury, it sounds like all being well, he's going to be okay. He might even race again. The thing I wanted to emphasise on this show, Paddy, is this, that you weren't at Cheltenham Saturday, were you?
No, I was.
Okay.
Well, I did watch this race live.
So I was there. And you've got a buzzing crowd, atmosphere, tension. This was the big hurdle of the day, the big moment. The silence that went round that racecourse. And you could feel, although you couldn't hear it necessarily where I was, but you could feel that,
Yeah. I absolutely.
Like when you see in football a tackle that you think that guy's leg's gone there. He's gone. That you go, ooh, that's horrible. I wish we could package that up. Package it up and play it to the haters of horse racing who say that the people don't care. It's all about betting. It's all about this or that. I wish we could package that feeling that I got for those minutes at Cheltenham that day. Because for me, that was nothing about betting.
No.
It was nothing about anything bad. It was goodness. It was a whole crowd. And at that moment, that whole crowd just wanted that horse to be okay. And for me, there was a piece of magic in the horror.
Yeah.
That here were all these people, a lot of them even at short odds will have backed Sergino. All they cared about was the horse.
100%. Well said. And that is exactly how it is, Matt. But I think we went on about the last race. I think once Sergino went wrong, the race day was over, Matt. Racing was over. He just left that mark. I sit down to watch it because I was rushing out the door, but I was going to make myself 5 minutes late to watch this race. And Matt, I'm like you. I'm watching at the start thinking, why is he dropping in last? I just didn't get it. You know, you're not needing to. You're riding to beat the new line. You're better than the new line. You're going to keep it very simple. Didn't matter as it transpired, but the box office viewing was over the minute they jumped off. Watched it, didn't notice the tail as much as you and a lot of other people. But Matt, when he went wrong at the top of the hill, honestly, I stopped watching. Race is over. Like, okay, you think there was only the new line, but even he had to be pushed out to win. Yeah, it was very sad, and it was so tough on Nicky Henderson. You did a brilliant interview after with him, which I've seen, and I think testament to the man. We say a lot about Nicky. Nicky, you are amazing, and coming on and being as strong as you are after was unbelievable. But Matt, yeah, it's great news that Sergino is going to be okay. Like, to think it's just a pelvis, you know, I'm sitting here saying just a pelvis, but when I seen it, I thought it was his leg, so I stopped watching. It's his pelvis. He can make a recovery, Matt. The biggest question in his life now is whether he'll ever race again.
There'll be some people who are bored of us already. There'll be some people who enjoy the conversation, but a lot of people just like to listen to about your thoughts on horses. So let's get into Maestro Conti, who looked pretty good in what many people would know as the finesse hurdle, now the juvenile trial hurdle, JCB Triumph trial juvenile hurdle at Cheltenham. Maestro Conti won pretty well from One Horse Town, who we know is a pretty good yardstick. Is this horse now right in the Triumph hurdle mix?
I think he is. Is he right in it? I'm not so sure. He's in it anyway, Matt. But, you know, we go on about man of the match and player of the match, and I don't want to touch on every horse, but this was right of the day, Matt. Master Conti. I'm watching this halfway through the race, and Harry Skelton he's struggling to anchor him. Just get him back. He's so quick at his hurls, Matt. He's a brilliant jumper, very enthusiastic. But Matt, when Harry Skelton's turned in, like, he's had to. This is the bit I'm trying to explain to people out there that are maybe quick to go to the keyboard under a bad ride or a good ride. He's had to wait when he turned in, Matt, on this track at Cheltenham, a long way to the last. He's like 5-6 lengths down going to the last because he knows he's being keen. He cannot press the button too soon. But Matt, they left the door open for him on the outside. They left the Red Sea over from lads. Get over, make it tight, make it hard. Brilliant ride, but they've handed to him a little bit.
Maybe they knew there was a hole there, so they were just steering clear.
But you know, when you've been there with all that experience, and Harry Skelton's grown into that era now, Ruby Walsh stuff that was watching, Matt. It was right of the day.
Right, Spillane's Tower, Cotswold, Grey Dawning, prep race.
Well, he had a bad start anyway, Matt. He got a kick at the start, and you knew it was going to be tough. I'm not saying that was the be-all and end-all, but just watching through the race, as a watcher of him, I never felt like it was quite happening. Brilliant result, Matt. Spillane's Tower.
Spillane, apparently. You don't want comments underneath. I called it Spillane, and I got a whole load of people saying, "Don't you know it's Spillane?" No, I didn't actually.
But it was brilliant, Matt, and it was an image of Gordon Elliott watching the horse walk in. You could just see him in the background. I just thought it summed it up really. You know, he was buzzing for the connections, and racing needs that. You know, we get on to Dublin Racing Festival in a minute, and you look at the domination by a couple of trainers. You want to see these people that got 10 and 15 horses winning, and there wouldn't have been, a bit like when Noel Meade won in Ireland over Christmas, there wouldn't have been one person not happy for him, so it's brilliant. Dan Skelton said with Grey Dawning, it neither improved or lessened their chances of winning the Gold Cup. What did you think? I think that sums it up, really. Definitely didn't improve them. And look, Grey Dawning's got a bit to go to win a Gold Cup. From what I can see, Matt, he's in it. And if you look at this Gold Cup, this year's Gold Cup, Matt, you've got to be in it. And you've got some chance of winning it because it's very open.
I like this horse. There's a bit of protectorate around him for me. I'm still not convinced whether he's more Ryanair than Gold Cup. If I was going to be absolutely nailed down, I'd say he's more Ryanair. I'd rather him travelling off a strong gallop than trying to stretch out. And the other thing is, Paddy, and funny enough, we've spoken a bit about a few of Dan's horses, Fortune de Mer, My Daddy Paddy, and Grey Dawning. I don't like horses that seemingly have to be ridden in one way. And if that way doesn't work, they don't have a plan B or C. Galopin Des Champs, in the Cheltenham Gold Cup, he can bang out on the front end. If something goes loony, he can sit second. If 10 go loony, he could sit last. Galopin Des Champs can do anything in that race. Grey Dawning is going to be held onto like this, like you used to do when you were being run away with at the back of the field, trying to keep one nailed at the back for the whole race, trying to get its handicap mark sorted. Grey Dawning has to be ridden like that, and that worries me.
Yeah, no, look, Matt, they're dim Galopin Des Champs. Imperial Commander was the same. Dinman, Kodo Star. They were all straightforward. You could ride the race as it unfolded. Like, you're going about Grey Dawning. It's hard to put him in the breadth of them horses yet, Matt. And look, the price reflects that. But yeah, look, he'll need a lot of luck. And you've seen what the Skeletons can do. You just don't rule him out. Yeah,
and he was brilliant when he won the Ryanair Grey Dawning. Right, Spillanstown, we're still waiting for official confirmation whether he goes for gold or Ryanair.
Yeah.
Jimmy Mangan wants to go for gold. And if you're watching this, I imagine JP is watching this. JP, if you are watching this, please let Jimmy go for gold. It's possibly the only chance of his life. Grand National, let Jimmy go for gold. And we must just say that our associates, Boylesports, have boosted Grey Dawning to 25 to 1 from 20 to 1. And to be fair, that is an industry top price.
Yep.
So if you fancy Grey Dawning, take the 25. We mentioned in dispatches the new Lion. Obviously, you know, he's rated 159, I think, the new Lion. There were horses very close to him in this who are rated a lot less. Brentford Hope, I think, is 138. It was a Mickey Mouse race, but in that scenario, did he actually do well to win it?
He probably did, Matt. You look at the fractions, they went quite slow, you know, and turned into a bit of a dash to line. Matt, the new line will need a couple of things, I think, to win a champion hurl. One is a pacemaker, or two, he'll be going very forward, because as much as they don't want to make the running, they're going to need pace on that inside track. And that champion hurl definitely won't be winning a sprint, Matt.
No. That's the new line. With him, I just feel big field, which he probably won't get in the champion hurdle, but big field, strong gap. We haven't seen him with that.
No, we haven't. And going back to Newcastle, we didn't see him there either. And we're not making excuses, but it was good ground. They were giving it to good soft. There was no good soft. So like you say, look.
I'm convinced he would have won that race. Lots of people said that he was beat at the time he came down. I'm convinced he would have won that day.
I think Cheltenham confirms that, Matt, because you could see when he came off the bridle, it took him a while to pick up. Harry had to sort of bring him back on to the last. He taught him plenty, but he's going to need to be at his very best to win a champion hurl. But what wins it, we're not so sure at the minute.
Got a new kid on the block as far as the staying picture is concerned. The first one this season was Impostoir. The second one this season now is Marchantou. Really good for Emma Laval. And of course, there's the Paisley Park connection that everyone's going to bring up, as I did on Saturday. He probably still needs to improve 10 pounds or so. I suppose the question for you is, Paddy, is a Bob Olinger or a Tierpou scared of Marchantou now?
You definitely got a factor, Matt. The good thing about what I love about Marchantou is his temperament. He turns up, very straightforward, doesn't get heated up for the occasion, goes out and does his job. Absolutely loves Cheltenham. But Matt, take nothing away from Impostoir in this race. I thought he was a massive, not eye catcher, but I think he was getting 6 or 8 pound, Matt. That's a lot of weight on a very hard work ground. So he's almost favoured to reverse the placings come Cheltenham. It's turning into a much better race than it was 3 months ago.
One horse I know you wanted to mention was Feel Gut, a Nicky Henderson Donnelly animal who won at Warwick.
Yeah, Matt, he won one of them junior hurls, which to me are a brilliant idea, but he's been given a gift, Matt. Nicky Henderson said this year, tip about Well, the handicapper could have sent Nicky Henderson a Christmas card early here. 125, Matt. I think that's the mark for Fred Winter. We went on about that horse at Fair Bromley's, but this lad at a mark of 125, I think he needs one more run. Matt, you got to find horses at Cheltenham. These big owners, with the disappointment of Sergino, could be near on favoured for Fred Winter after his next run. But if he can go into a race like that with that kind of mark, massive chance.
So Phil Gutt won on the 23rd of January. Came out of a race in Auteuil. The winner of that race was a horse called Macho Man, and that horse had run on the 14th of January and is also owned by the Donnellys. They bought both of them, I think I'm right in saying. Yeah, they did. Macho Man was beaten by Proactive at Fairy House, but both of those horses look pretty decent, and Macho Man It was favourite that day, but Proactive was second favourite. I think it was a good run.
Finally on that, Matt, just in that junior hurl, it puts the handicapper in a real difficult position, because if you run field gut in a race like Kempton and he wins by the same distance, he's probably getting 132 rather than 125. So he's been given a chance because they don't know what he's beaten.
Paddy, we got our first guest coming on. I'm so pleased this guy's coming on. When I used to go to Ireland almost every day of my life back in the day for the old At the Races team, you know how you are a jockey, so you probably do understand this about punting. But when you're punting and you're backing horses, etc., and trying to find winners of races, you often latch on to a jockey. Like conditionals and apprentices are. Like my mum loves spotting an apprentice, for instance, that she thinks is going to be a star. And I remember when this lad first came on the scene, I thought he was absolutely mustard. And he did really well to start with. And then he sort of kind of just disappeared. And then he came back and he sort of disappeared and came back a bit. But I never forgot that. And now he rides one of the best horses in the business. So it's a very, very warm welcome to Unbridled for the first time. We haven't had many Irish guests yet because you're enough to put us. but it's Sean Flanagan. Hello, Sean.
Hey lads, how you doing, Matt? All right?
Morning, Sean.
It's so nice to. Where the hell are you sitting? It looks like you're selling shoes or something. What are you doing?
Helmets. This is the other side of business.
Wow. Tell me about that. I mean, just what is it?
So, Lauren and my wife and I bought the Valak company over here in Ireland off the Foxes. And whilst we run all the Valak and look after all the riders, we do all the sponsorship breeches and sell all helmets and back protectors and everything that's entailed in that as well.
Oh, brilliant.
I mean, you are massively multitasking, as everyone knows. I mean, you're like the all-encompassed jockey, aren't you? I mean, we have jockeys out there who have somebody who drives them to the track. When they get there, they're looked after. They basically then get up on their horse, they get driven home, and they get put to bed. But you basically could do all of that. I mean, you do it all, don't you? Valeting, driving, flying as well. We'll get onto that in a minute. You just do everything.
Yeah, I find that I'd probably get bored. I'd rather be doing something than not.
Sean! I've got to pause you there. We've got a call coming in, and it's more important than you. Hold on. It's Rich Ricci, everyone. Hold on. It's Rich Ricci. Hello, Rich.
Hi, Matt. Good morning, Matt. How are you?
You won't believe this. You've called me right in the middle of recording Unbridled.
Oh, dearie me. Am I interrupting?
No. Well, you are, but it's only Sean Flanagan who rides Marine Nationale, so it's no one particularly important.
He's very important. Is the horse going to run? That's what I want to know.
Well, let's ask him. Sean, are you running this weekend for sure? Definite, quickly?
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
Okay, he's running, Rich. Is that good or bad news for you?
It's fantastic. It's great for the sport. I love it. I think it's great.
Thanks so much for calling back. And really, I know how busy you are. You'll have 1,000 million clients you're meant to be talking to right now. So just with the Dublin Racing Festival around the corner, what are we going to see in the colours of Rich Ricci?
Well, I think at the moment, absolutely all five still options to run at the weekend. They'll work tomorrow, and we'll make a final call. But all five could possibly run, definitely.
Okay, so Lossiemouth for sure?
I mean, depending work tomorrow, but yeah, I mean, intention is on Lossiemouth for sure, yeah.
And are you excited? I mean, do you get excited every time she runs?
Well, I get excited when all the horses run. I'm notoriously very nervous, but yeah, she's looking forward to her. We've got a new one called Selma de Vary in the juvenile. She'll run, all things going well tomorrow.
Gaelic?
So there are a couple of nice fillies. What's that?
Gaelic Warrior in the big chase. Will he go in the mud?
I think that given all the rain, he's certainly a possibility. Leopardstown's not his favorite track, but I think given the weather, I'm hopeful. No final decision, but he'll work again tomorrow. But the weather has certainly increased his chances of running.
The King George was a great finish, but was there a little bit of you? And don't be shy here because it will be completely human. Was there a little bit of you that came away from that race thinking, we might have won that another day?
Oh, definitely. And I think Paul felt the same way. And And look, it was a fantastic race. And look, he's in terrific form this season. And once you get over the disappointment of losing, you have to look at it as something to build on. He ran an absolute stormer. So, hopefully whether he runs at the weekend or he goes straight to Cheltenham, hopefully he improves on that. But, it's great to have a live contender for the Gold Cup / Ryanair. It's great.
And you had a bumper winner that looked like an absolute machine the other day.
That was exciting, wasn't it? Lossiemouth. I bought him out of Northern Ireland, and it was it was great. That was really great. I think you could see it in Patrick's comments after the race. I don't think anyone was expecting that. I knew that he'd been doing everything right at home, but wasn't particularly flashy. But I love those horses that have the high cruising speed and just keep going. So, yeah, he's exciting.
Yeah, and as an owner, I imagine the best ones tend to be the ones that the yard don't know, aren't they? The ones that aren't flashy at home, but when they hit the track suddenly show this ability, rather than the flashy ones that everyone says, well, this is a machine, and then it doesn't quite get the trip, or it doesn't quite do this on the day.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, like Riska Bahia. She must be the world's greatest workhorse. And I get very excited when they talk about her, and then she absolutely just is awful on the race course. So, yeah, I think that is true.
Yeah. I remember I was involved with a horse that Pat Edery once sold to someone, a friend of mine he sold it to, and everyone said this was going to be the greatest animal ever, and I thought I finally hit the big time. And then it ran in about 3 or 4 bumpers. I think it started off at Wincanton, which everyone will know is a pretty tight track, and it ran really fast for about 1.3 miles.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Which was about all it ever went on the gallops, and it was absolutely useless. But yeah, fire warning. You'd have been really happy with that horse in Newbury the other day.
Yeah, it's been a good couple of weeks for us. Now that is a horse that Nicky could not stop talking about. His expectation management on that was absolutely horrible, because he had us all G'd up that Pegasus was going to show up. So I'd have been very disappointed if he'd lost. But that was great to see, and I'm delighted for Nicky. And it was impressive. And hopefully we'll see what he can do the next time. He'll run again before Cheltenham, probably at Ascot. And looking forward to seeing how he gets on.
Sean's looking bored with us now, Rich, so I won't keep you much longer. He's like thinking, well, this was meant to be...
Right. Yeah. Make sure and tell Rich that I'm free for a couple of them, like Lossiemouth and them. No problem. I can see it around.
Good man, Sean. Well done.
The other thing is he can fly you in and out of the track, Rich, so there is an advantage of booking Sean Flanagan because he flies his own plane.
Oh, there you go.
Just final question, Rich. Of all the other horses you own at the moment, give us. You always do it at this time of year. So a couple of names that out of your string, that do get you a bit jiggy.
Yeah, so it's been quite a frustrating season, and it's nobody's fault, just with the weather and everything. A lot of these horses have been a long time coming out. Love Sign to Do is a good example. We've got Selma Devari running in the juvenile spring juvenile on Saturday. I'm very excited about her. She first time out was second to a Grade 2 winner. She's run 3 times over hurdles. She won. She's exciting. I think the horse that runs tomorrow with Thurles, Charme de Faust, is out of the first crop of Goliath de Burle.
Right.
She's very, very exciting. There's still a few more to come. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but those are 2 names that you keep an eye out for. But the ones that are coming out late are doing well. There's another one called Sparkling Wit. Full brother to Gaelic Warrior. He'll run in a bumper sometime, I would guess, the next couple of weeks. Another one. So there you go. There's 3 good ones.
Rich, you're a gent for buzzing us and just filling us in on the details. Thank you for those names. And we'll wait and see what's declared. Obviously, this show recorded on a Wednesday morning. We'll wait and see what's declared on Thursday. But really hope it's a good weekend for you. And stay well. And it's just great that you and Susanna are still loving this game and providing all these horses for us to watch. So thank you very much for calling.
Thanks very much. And best of luck, Sean. Cheers.
Cheers, Rich.
Thanks very much. You too,
Bye.
Rich.
Yeah. He didn't mean that.
Sorry about that, Sean.
I'm not again,
Sean,
so we're okay.
Sean, sorry about that.
Yeah, we've never ever kept a special guest waiting, but when the special guest is there's a special guest, obviously the special guest waits, doesn't it, Paddy?
We were just touching on Sean's background there, Matt.
Yeah.
Helmets and back pads, and Sean is definitely one of the people that, Sean, it is an example. I'm not just saying it, but to others, I don't think there's a lot of spare time as a jockey, isn't there? You go back when you started, you ride out in the morning, you go racing, but there's a lot of days when lads don't go racing. And my advice to them, as I say, I'm using you now as an example, is that time can be valuable. To get a pilot's license, set up the valid business. Obviously, you bought the business. For the future, it's when you're riding, it's very much all that matters. But there's a fair old life left after that.
Well, this is it. Like I stumbled across this almost by mistake, in the sense that I was just in the waiting one day and we're having a bit of crack. Like, I was with the other valets. I was with the Clearys. There's only 2 valets in Ireland, the Clearys and the Foxes at the time. And I was just slagging them, saying, "Oh, you're only lads making money." Just literally having a slagging match. And Liam Cleary turned around and he said, "Oh, if you think so, why don't you buy the other one? It's going to be for sale." And that's literally how it came about.
Yeah, amazing.
But then the flip side of that is and I know isn't it jets that they have in the UK where you can retrain.
Yeah.
We have Equip here, and we have the Irish jockeys, Indian jockeys, Irish jockeys trust, and all that crack, and it's all there. Like, and it's literally a matter of picking up the phone and saying, "How are you going? I want to do a course in whatever."
Yeah.
And they say no problem, and they set it up for you. Like, it's all there, and like, even with the flying, it's time consuming. And I would have done 75% of my flying, especially all the theory end of it, when I was injured. Like, the minute I get injured, I'd be lying on the ground thinking, right, I can get this exam and that exam done now in the next 6 or 8 weeks, and I'm back then. And that was my outlet of it. And then it doesn't give you a chance to be sitting in the front room annoyed because whatever you should have been riding is after winning. You're thinking about something else, and it takes your mind off that.
I think it's a really key point, Sean, for any lad watching this, is that to go to Jets or the association you said in Ireland, that is just valuable time. I didn't use it. I didn't use it enough. I didn't use it at all. But where there is a quiet time or you're injured, I think it's, from now that I've retired, looking back, I could only tell lads to get in touch with these people and make valuable use of that time.
Yeah, it's interesting with you, Pat, because I almost feel you could be a jockey's counsellor now, whereas back in the day,
I needed a counsellor.
More than one, to be
Hold on now, Matt. Hold on now. Hold on.
Yeah,
hold yourself.
Okay, yeah, no. Well, I do say some stupid things, as people tell me. We've got some shots, Sean, of you heading to racing at Cork. We've got a little video of you landing in Naas, and another great video of you landing on a racetrack as well. Just that flying thing. Was that a practical thing, or was it just you're a bit of a junkie and just wanted to do something that looked fun?
A junkie for sure. Started years and years and years back. I think maybe for my 17th or 18th birthday, somebody got me a voucher for a flying lesson, and I went and done it, and loved it. But at the time, young, riding, hadn't got a whole pile of money, had to park the bus, and I think I was just feeling ill one evening, and I was sitting down. It was middle of the night, and I just started on Google and found somewhere that was doing lessons, and started gradually. It was 1 a month, broke into 2 a month, and at the time I was sponsored by someone who I didn't know had a son, had just trained to be a pilot, and we got talking about it one day, and he had a little Cessna 150 in Newcastle and Wicklow, and only for that really I wouldn't have probably got to the stage it did. I was able to train in his aircraft then and progress from there. And I sillily enough, I suppose, I'd probably done a lot of that off my own back. And then afterwards, I went to the Irish Inter Jockeys, and I wanted to train further. So I done an MEP through them, and I want to go do an IR and stuff like that. And that's all done through the Irish Inter Jockeys now, But I done the first bit of kind of off my own back, and not knowing that it would have been possible really for them to support me somewhat going through the cause,
So when you stop riding one day, I've read various bits, this is not news as such, but do you genuinely want to be a commercial pilot? You want to fly a big plane from Ireland to Barbados or wherever the plane's going? Is that something you want to do?
It would be. Yeah, it would be. I took over this and it was a great idea, and then very shortly after taking it over I realised that I actually don't have the time to do it all. So then my wife came on board. Obviously, she was very supportive at the time, but she came on board and she said she'd do a small bit in the office, and that went from small bit to a lot. And then we do all the embroidery as well. So we've two embroidery machines you can see here. So we do all that, and then she started doing a small little bit of that, and now she does all of that. And I've not far away from completely walked away from it now and kind of just left her at it. And so that gives me a little bit more time. And yeah, so back to the question, I suppose, yes, I'd love to. Would I ever end up going working for Ryanair or something? I don't really know.
We got more chance than Elon Musk anyway.
Yeah, it depends on what if Elon can grab a hold of Michael, we'll see.
Just on a personal level, before we just get into this horse and his ability and what he can do at the weekend, etc. When you look at your journey yourself, you sit in that office occasionally, you just think of that journey from this person down and out, going to America, bit in England, useless, coming back, getting moments of satisfaction. As you cross the line on Marine Nationale in the Champion Chase, it probably doesn't, but does any of that just flash through your mind for a second? You just think, I've made it. It was all worth it.
No, it's a very good question, because I suppose none of what you really said, in a sense that, I was here and here and here and here and here, they don't really flash into mind. But I'm very, very mentally aware of the hardship that I've put everyone that's probably around me and myself through to be where I am. And that all, it's a flood of emotion. Obviously, with Marine, there's a lot more emotion to it. Like, I was riding the horse before the incident with Michael, but even at that, there's still a lot of Michael attached to the horse. I fell at the same fence on the day, and I was very involved, and that brought a lot more emotion to the whole day as well. But yes, for sure. Like, you're literally walking around at the top of the chute thinking, Jesus, it's all paid off. It's amazing it only takes one winner for me to say it's all paid off, but that's Cheltenham in a nutshell, though, isn't it?
Yeah. And we should emphasise, for those who don't know watching this show, I think most people will, but of course Mikey O'Sullivan used to ride Marine Nationale, used to ride for Barry Connell, and had a fall and very, 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 very sadly passed away from that fall. Right, Marine Nationale. It's interesting because I've heard you speak about this horse. I don't think he's a natural chaser. I don't think he's a natural jumper. But everything I hear you say about the horse is he's a natural chaser and he's a natural jumper. Who's right, Sean?
Well, I don't think your hair is natural, but...
All right. I've always said this guy's a tosser. Honestly, I said it right from the start. He'll never make it, this lad. No, okay, fair play. Yeah, no, that's fair.
Why is natural jumper then?
There's something about him that it's funny, after the Champion Chase, because we don't just throw this together. I listened to some of your interviews last night for the show today, and you were saying like he gained lengths in the air, and I'm thinking this horse has never gained a length in the air. Like, maybe he feels different to what he looks.
Yeah, I suppose I haven't ridden, like, I've ridden a few, but not many real proper 2 mile hurdlers. And I've ridden a few of them, and a few of the 2 mile hurdlers I've ridden don't actually really feel like they jump. They literally rock down, bend their knee, don't make any shape, and they're gone. And this lad feels similar to that over a fence. There is his mistakes, right? Forget about his mistake at Leopardstown. But his mistakes that he makes in a race is jumping too clean for a 2 mile chaser. He generally does it when he's his first run or two of the season, early on in play, where you go down and he goes a little bit and up in the air, a small little bit. Now he might lose very, very minimal amount of ground, but to me he's not like boom. But that's only early on in play. When you want him, Paddy will understand when I say it. If I was to blindfold somebody and put him up on Marine Nationale and send him down over 2 fences, they might not be able to tell you when he's left the ground and when he's back on the ground. He's that slick through the air. Do you know that kind of way?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, he's slick, quick.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to go down with the blindfold, even though I needed it at the odd time. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
To be fair, at the top of that hill that day, though, on old Q card, it looked like you were blindfolded. There'll be another comment below. We're bored. Chapman doesn't mention Q card again, but you did deck one of the greatest horses of all time. You say forget about what happened at Leopardstown last time, Sean, but of course, those of us who watch racing won't forget that. Why should we forget about what happened?
No, I was only saying put that aside because like that was a mistake. Like so he's gone down. I've actually thankfully gone in to see the recording of it the next day to see what exactly happened because it's happened so quick. But like he's left the ground a stride before the wing and he's literally just landed down just above where the belly meets the actual birch and he's just pitched me forward. Like he's literally hit the ground and stopped and I'm nearly out over his tail. Luckily I suppose Keith was there because funny enough, I think if Keith wasn't there, I could have ended up on the ambulance road because I'm kind of pulling off one rein to get him to not fall off him. There's plenty of people saying that he made no mistake, but luckily I've said this as well. Pat Healy was stood in at the back of the fence. He got abused for that as well, but I think he was fine where he was. But he has a picture of him and he's more or less in the fence, like in the middle of it. Some people say he didn't make a mistake, but
he definitely made a mistake.
Yeah, And on the back of that, have you scored him since? How's he working at home since?
I never ride him. Gareth Cotter rides him out every day. And yeah, he's in fantastic form. I spoke to Barry last night. He's delighted with him, and look, they're more than happy. I don't think ground is going to be an issue. He won on soft ground the Royal Bond, and I think the time he won the Supreme it was softish ground as well. So ground is not going to be an issue. It might actually, a better side of him. He's not that he's run off his feet, but softness around Leopardstown he's hard to keep into, and the slow ground might just take the sting out of him a small little bit.
In your words, if this horse brings what you have felt on him and his A game to the table, do you think there is a 2-miler out there right now who can beat him?
Gonzalez has beaten him twice, 3 times actually. So I think he's definitely further forward this year and stronger horse this year than he was last year. I don't think the ground at Leopardstown is going to suit him. It is going to suit him, but it's not going to affect him. But he's a different horse in Cheltenham. Okay. While Solmus might be able to beat him in Leopardstown, I don't think he'd beat him in Cheltenham.
It's interesting, Paddy, isn't it? There are horses like that. I think Lossiemouth is a different horse at Cheltenham to anywhere else. Even though she's won impressively at other places, she comes alive.
No, not a bad place to come alive, Matt.
No. Just a quick one, Sean. Just because we hear about him a little bit, have you actually seen William Money walking anywhere in the distant past, sort of thing?
Yeah. He's back up and doing plenty of walking. And I don't think he's far away from maybe having saddle on his back again soon. To speak is hopefully Punchestown. He's one of those horses that I just don't think it might do him any harm to have this time. He's just a big old raw horse. He's got absolutely endless amount of ability, and look at hopefully touch wood. It's frustrating as well in the sense that I know the time is not going to do him any harm, but he's got such an amount of ability that I was really, really looking forward to him this year. So and the way the division has kind of split up, and I'm not knocking any horses by saying it, it's splitting up. It is what it is. Just Sardina was going dropping back, and he's obviously after getting injured, and it just the division is open. And I think he could have been a big contender in it this year.
Yeah, and each to their own looks like a nice chaser in the making.
Yeah, he's a gorgeous horse. He's a really, really good looking horse. We were very lucky that he was. I suppose lucky that he ran below par in the Royal Bond, and we got a nice mark off the back of it, and he's gone and he's won really, really well. He's got his 13 or 14 pounds for that. There's talks of a Supreme entry. He's a gorgeous looking horse, and look, he probably doesn't know us much this year, and maybe a run at Cheltenham and in the Supreme, harm to anyone. Get the owners there, and he could run a nice race. But he's definitely a big chase from the base, and he's really, really good looking horse.
And we've got to ask quickly, do you two know each other? Do you know Sean well?
I know
Paddy?
Sean very well.
Do you?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I've ridden with him for years.
Oh.
Sean rode in France a bit when I
How
was
come
riding
he's
in
looking
France.
so healthy then? Like, you thought there'd be something wrong with him.
With who?
With him. He said he's had to be near you. Sean, do you any memory at all of either sitting near or riding anywhere near Mr. Patrick Brennan in a horse race?
I have a good few great memories, obviously through the years, but the one that stands out most was just the calmness of the way he said it, and I don't know, you might remember, but we were in the Fred Winter. I was right. I won it that year, Jeff Kidder, and I'm tipping down the back. I think it was like the first or second hurdle down the back, and Jeff Kidder was far from natural now. And he's took off outside the wings, and he just put his two paws out and flattened the hurdle down in front of him on the ground, down the back. And I could just hear Paddy behind me, just calm as you like him. Oh my God, that's all he said.
You saved me a fall. I rode Ellen Valley actually. I remember the horse, but you brought the hurl down, and I was coming from the wings, and you saved me a proper slap. And people said, "Oh, I remember that day I was at the top of the hill going nowhere, thinking I was just happy to be there. I should have been lying on the ground." And I flew home and finished third. And I think the reason was, one, you flattening the hurl, and two, me not moving on him till he third did.
Yeah.
I mean, you should sit opposite him on a podcast. He says, "Oh my God," all the time on this. It's like it's constant. But look, Sean, I really hope people have enjoyed listening to you. So many fascinating things in there about you, much more than I say just a jockey. Being a jockey obviously is incredible, but there's so much more going on in your world. I hope this weekend goes well, and congratulations for effectively making it and putting all that hard work in, because you have always had the talent, and sometimes you just need the opportunities, and now you've got a horse that is showing that talent off, although obviously Leopardstown last time was absolutely awful. But anyway,
You're laughing now. Stop it.
Alexi, you staying on him?
Yeah.
and that was Sean Flanagan on Unbridled. Thank you, Sean. Off you go. Look,
Thanks very much,
everything's
Sean.
falling down now. That's
Well said, lads. Thank you very
Cheers,
much.
Johnny. Right, Paddy, it's time to get really stuck into the Dublin Racing Festival, in association, of course, with Boylesports, and joining us, one of the greats, I think, Gold Cup hero, had one of the best jobs in the business, respected by every rider out there other than you. It is, of course, the one and only Bryan Cooper. Hello, Bryan. Thanks for joining us once again.
Hello, all my old pals.
Right.
I think it's a year since I last was on this, was it?
Yeah,
About
it was about that. Not many people come back twice, but you and Paddy have such this special relationship these days that you thought you'd have a bit more, yeah?
Yeah, I think I listened to you a few weeks ago, and the cue card situation come up again, so I said I just have to just show the face so you can remember that it's never going to happen.
Just remind us, when Paddy decked Q Card, who won that Gold Cup?
Don Cossett, yeah.
Yeah. Ridden by?
Myself.
And a lesson that all you have to do is get the horse round, isn't it? That's all you have to do. That's the job.
Keep them elbows in. Keep them elbows in.
Yeah. We've got the Irish Arkle Novices Chase. On paper, many people will see this as a possible match-up between Romeo Coolio and Copette de Bourg, but of course, Carjesi is a pretty useful animal as well, an Irish Panther, no mug. Look, let's just go on the basis, because we're recording, once again, to emphasise, Wednesday morning. We don't have the final decks, but if they all ran, who would you be liking to ride in that?
I'd love to ride Copette de Bourg. I think he was by far the better hurdler, and I was unsure of how good a chaser he was going to be, as just the way he jumped his hurdles. But he just really caught my eye in that, and he was electric. He was quick, and he, to me, has improved from hurdles to fences, I think. And if he's done that, well, then I can't see where Romeo Coolio is going to make up the lengths from the Supreme over 2 miles. If it was over further, yes, I would fancy Romeo Coolio, but not over this trip, over 2 miles. Paul would just buck out and let him rock, I'd say. And I think he'd just have too much pace for Romeo Coolio.
The counter to that, Paddy, might just be, though, is if Romeo Coolio is a much better chaser than hurdler. He is built like a brick house, Romeo Coolio, for me.
Yeah, I do agree with Brian, though, on Kobeck. The same thing of hurls. You know, when I seen him over fence, it was a lot of what I didn't expect, how he got his front end up and the shape he made. look, there's a lot of uncertainty over this side of the water whether he's going to run. You'll probably know more. But if he was to run, I'm definitely with Bryan. I think he's a monster. And yes, as much as Romeo will appreciate the slower ground, it'll favour him too.
Yeah, I mean, it's a horrible question because the time everyone's watching this, they'll know the answers, Bryan. So it's always a bit of a crap thing to ask anyone on a show like this. But the vibes from you, is it that people are turning up for this?
I'd say so. Well, with Topek anyway, I think if he doesn't run in this, he's only one other option, and that's the 10 up, I think, in Navan, and that's getting closer to Cheltenham. So the vibes for me is that everything's good. I read that he was in the Curragh there last week, so I'd imagine he'd show up. I hope he does, because I want to see the horse. I thought he was fantastic last year, and so when I saw Navan, he looked a proper two-miler. So, I think he'd show up.
The Irish Gold Cup features, hopefully, Galopin Des Champs, Factor Foul, possibly Oti Couleur's going to go. Brilliant that Rebecca Curtis is sending him. And the new kid on the block is Affordale Fury, who, of course, remember, was second at Cheltenham behind Tearaway Faye as a hurdler and has always been a good horse, but has slightly just sort of bubbled under the surface with not much news about him. But now he's right in the mix. What did you make of Galopin Des Champs' comeback, Bryan? It seemed to get mixed reviews. Some people saying, oh, he's not the horse he was. Others saying after the layoff, he was tremendous.
Funny, I had this conversation the other day. I think that was one of his best performances first time out. Then take us all his John Durkin runs. I wasn't impressed, but I was actually more impressed with this than any of his other runs. He bucked out. Paul rode him positive. There was no hiding place in the race. They went to gallop. He jumped to the front at the back of the last. He was in front till halfway up the running, and he took a blow. I took more positives than negatives. I thought Sam Ewing gave the winner a very good canny ride, and he saved a little bit to get over the last, and he had fitness on his side, and he got over, and he had one last crack at him. So I think it was more positive than negative to take it out of the race, and I think the roof will collapse when Galopin goes by the line on Saturday, to be honest.
Okay, Bryan thinks he'll just go and win. We heard from Rich Ricci earlier. He kind of thinks that, Gaelic Warrior may run. I have to say, I'm not sure I'd run Gaelic Warrior, but then it doesn't really matter, does he? At the end of the day, he's a horse. You might as well just run him and see. Who would you fancy if the list as we're speaking goes to post, Pat?
I do think Galopin will reverse the form probably with Affordale Fury, but I'm going to stick with the Rebecca Curtis horse here, Matt. I think... Like, Bryan, just one question on Leopardstown. Obviously it's going to be soft, but will it just be soft, do you reckon, or...?
Well, it was underwater, but you know it as well. It dry. I'd say it's just probably heavy. It's sloppy. It'll be the first day. Depends what rain falls between now and then. The chase course is always a bit better than the hurdle track, so that will help. I can't see it being that bad. Like it was flash floods, it's like a golf course that runs off it. I suppose we had plenty of rain up to that. I wouldn't be overly worried about the ground. Like, I suppose the thing with Hockey Calor, wasn't the ground probably on the better side in Chepstow that day? He won the Welsh National. So it's not going to be any better than soft. And I think once it's soft and heavy in it, it's galloping in his playground really as such. I just can't find anything there that can after they beat him in Leopardstown the last day. I just can't find anything there that will beat him this time around.
Yeah, got it.
Just finally to both of you, because you're both ex-Gold Cup winning jockeys. You've ridden hundreds and hundreds of winners between you. But for me, you're looking at this race a bit like us, as in those of us who've never ridden, who just follow the sport. Like Affordale, with him, why do you not believe really what happened last time? Because why can't he be the new kid on the block, Bryan? Or is it just a case you want to see it again?
I'd love to see. I thought Noel Meade is a fantastic trainer, and I was very lucky to ride a lot of winners from him. I won that race for him on road to Riches back in 2014, and the vibes were very, very strong that day. His price collapsed, and I thought he got an exceptional ride, and I'm forgiving Galopin to take a run. I'm not going to say there'll be a big difference between Affordale and Galopin, but I think he can reverse the distance. I think Galopin will back up his run Affordale Fury and probably finish second. And that's as good as Gold Cup performance you can get taking on the champion, Obviously, there's a couple of extra there. I know the way you're thinking will have to show up and show some sort of performance if he's even entitled to run in this year's Gold Cup. So it's going to be an exciting race, and I hope they all show up because it'll give us a good gauge to the big one in March.
Yeah. The Dublin Chase, Marine Nationale, the champion chaser against Masborough, who's got to get his jumping still together, and Solness, who obviously has good form and has beaten Marine Nationale a few times. Again, we spoke to Sean Flanagan. He's very hopeful. He's not really worried about the ground, which could have been a worry for some of us. And obviously, Barry Connell just thinks this horse will hack up. What do you make of a Marine Nationale, Brian? Fan or not?
I'm a fan of him. Okay, the ability he's shown, he has obviously an incredible amount of ability. I'm just not sure he's the same horse around Leopardstown as he is in Cheltenham, and especially on soft to heavy ground, which is what it is going to be on Sunday. I thought he ran very well, and obviously he made that bad mistake. But if you look at it, yes, it was a bad mistake, but he didn't actually lose that whole lot of ground. Like he was back into the race by the time he turned down the back straight, and Solomon, I think it's his playground. It's like Galopin Des Champs. He loves it around there. He loves soft ground, and I think Marine Nationale, I don't fancy him to win. I think he's the best horse in the race, but I do think he'll get beat.
Yeah. Just going down memory lane, do you remember what happened in 2013?
Efficient.
A certain horse called Arconna put Bryan Cooper almost on the map, really.
Oh, yes.
In the trial
I thought you were on about this race.
Yeah.
I think I won that race on Beneficent.
Yeah, you probably did. But 2013, Desi Hughes, but in the colours of Barry Connell. Sadly, Arconna didn't have the career that everyone hoped.
It only came up there the other day, his race against Hurricane Fly in Leopardstown. It just shows he was some hell of a horse for just turned 5-year-old to go back and be beaten a length by Hurricane Fly in Leopardstown. He had so much potential.
Yeah, he was a machine. Anyway, let's not relive good and bad times as far as Arconna is concerned. Sadly, didn't have the career that he might have had if he'd lived longer. Paddy, who wins the Dublin Chase? It's a simple question.
I just said Hattie Colors.
That's the Irish Gold Cup. We're now on to the Dublin Chase.
Yeah, so listening to Sean and now Brian on Marine Nationale, very interesting point, that he's not as good. I love the horse. I think he's got so much obviously potentially he's a champion chase runner, but every time he runs as a jockey, Brian, you'd want to be riding him. He's class.
Yeah.
And okay, yeah, he's got a lot against him on Saturday, but Solness was brilliant the other day, but I just give him one more chance around there. That's my thoughts on that.
Okay.
He is the best horse in the race.
Yeah.
I think he wins the champion chase, but I'm going to give Solomon just a little squeak. I have a soft spot for the horse, especially around Leopardstown, and Joseph is an absolute genius at these big days around with the small national string he has.
He's what I call a pick-up pieces horse, Solness. I don't think he's a superstar, but he's a superstar to that yard, and he's won loads of big races and money, but I think in a champion chase, he would never win a champion chase. But then again, crikey, we've had some relatively low-grade champion chase heroes, so anything can happen.
What Brian's saying.
What would you do on Marshmallow, Paddy, if you were to ride him?
Mashbury, yeah, we didn't touch on him.
Jump off, probably.
Brown would probably suit him back going left-handed. What would I do on him? Sure, Brian, there's not a lot you can do on him because basically as a jockey, he's a jockey's nightmare. No matter what you do, if he makes a mistake, the finger's going to be pointed at you.
Yeah.
What would you do on him?
Would you just keep sending him? Because he seems to stay. I know he doesn't help you in front. That's the only thing.
Yeah,
he just pricks his ears and he puts down. But I don't know. I'd probably keep daring him back when I had a bit of a bottle, but I don't know now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's interesting for those of us, again, have lots of people watching this who don't ride horses. Like for me, you just be as aggressive as you can and try and make the ultimate McCoy type rider. You just ride him into every fence and hope that he picks up. But you're saying he just will put down on you from time to time.
He just looks awkward. He looks a very hard ride. And you say he's in front. It was like a horror movie when he ran at Cork. Okay, he's back left-handed. It suits him a lot better around here. Look, he'll put it all together one day. Willie's horses seem to be coming into a lot better form. So, good horse you mentioned, and you would not rule him out. So Brian, with a horse like that, do you ride him what I would call Ruby Walsh
and let him effectively decide the jumping, and you say, well, I know that's not strictly true, but you let the horse tell you, or do you tell the horse?
I just think he is the jockey's worst nightmare, and I just maybe just look to see him being properly, like, he's a 2 miler who looked like he wanted 2.5 the last day in Leopardstown, so he's going to stay. Like, he's a Triumph Hurdle winner. They usually end up stayers anyway, and just have one crack at it and just keep going forward on him for as much as you can. If he puts down, he puts down. If he doesn't, just, that's what I do. It doesn't always work. You're either a hero or a villain. So I think it'd be worth a try, though. In
the big novice chase, Final Demand in the staying novice chase, he just goes and wins, does he, if he stands up?
Yeah, definitely. He's probably what will probably be Willie's easiest winner, bar something drastic happens. He looks a future Gold Cup horse in the making.
Okay, and in the Irish Champion Hurdle, Lossiemouth, Bright as A's ahead, Anzadam, El Fabiolo. Should be some pace on here. Who would you like in that?
I'm gonna sit in the fence for the first two, and I'm going to give Anzadam a chance. If the ground is proper soft to heavy, and he settles. He's very good form on this heavy ground, and the ground he gave away with the way he ran away the last day. It's just a race. If there's a lot of pace on it, the front two take each other on, I think it could fall into his hands a bit. I'm just going to go and give it a bit of a surprise, and I'm going to stick with Anzadam.
Yeah, Brian, I just want to touch on a question here. Obviously, for our show, Unbridled, you have to do a little bit of homework, and I only really got stuck into the DRF, Dublin Racing Festival, last night. I was shocked with the amount of races that is very, like, I shouldn't be shocked, because I know the dominance of Willie Mullins and Gordon Elliott, and you can answer this question however you want. But, like, when you look at this race, it's just Willie and Gordon. There was so many other races where the dominance of Willie and Gordon, to me, is becoming more obvious by the year. Where does it end? And is there a solution? I know, do you make a race where Willie and Gordon can't have a runner? Sound crazy? I don't know. But how do you make it? Is there any way of making it easier for the other people?
Start finding owners and spending money to sales, maybe. I don't know. Yes, it is. I suppose Henry's probably had a really good start this season, and he's probably freshening up his horses to get to Cheltenham. So he's probably he's lacking a bit of horses to run in this. Gordon is clearly pinpointed, which is great, because at least there's two of them taking each other on. But at the end, it's going back to getting trainers, getting owners, and which is not easy, and I understand that. It's not a simple thing to just go find an owner and get them to spend 200,000 on a horse. But the only way you can do it is go find the horses, and because if you don't find them, you won't be competitive. So I think you have to admire Willie and Gordon. Yes, they're getting the biggest firepower, but as you know, you look at Paul Nolan there the weekend. He went and had a big weekend with his two horses. You know, there is ways around it. I'm just glad to see Gordon showing up this weekend, because otherwise it was going to be a Willie show again. So it could be an interesting spectacle. There is some very good handicaps, and we're going to get surprises. Not everyone is going to win every race. Gordon, Willie aren't going to win every race, and we will get surprises.
Yeah. Yeah. At least they do take it on, and at least they run more than one in each race as well.
Yeah,
don't they?
I know, but that was just my take. Yeah, I don't think I've ever, in the much of dominance of jump racing, when you look through that Dublin Racing Festival, yes, it's great to see taking each other on, but spending more money, one thing. But it's lovely, like you've seen Jimmy Mangan the weekend. You love to see results like that and just keeping the wheel going around. It's not easy, and I definitely don't have the solution.
One trainer, of course, if you wanted to mix it around, who can train in Ireland is a certain Tommy Cooper. And also back when the money used to come for a Tommy Cooper, especially when his boy was on, gamble landed. Can I just quickly ask you about Dad's horse that's meant to run this weekend as well? Is it Diat?
Yeah, he'll run on Saturday. It's his first run back since Punchestown. He had a bit of a setback, so I think the aim is to go back maybe for the Carl Cup this year. He didn't stay in the Pertemps, so he'll run, and Celestial Shune will run in the bumper on Sunday. She won at Cheltenham last time out. She was very impressive, and hopefully we get her there in one piece now. She looks pretty special, and we're looking forward to her.
Yeah, I mean, she's obviously looks like an absolute monster in the making, doesn't she?
Yeah, shocked at what she's actually done in her bumpers, because she's quite a strong mare. She looks as if her jumping has been fantastic, and whatever she does this year, I'd say if she runs Sunday, we mightn't see her again. Maybe have one more run, and that'll be it, because she actually doesn't qualify for Champion Bumper if she runs Sunday. So this has been the plan. I feel she's improved again since she won in Cheltenham, and look, she's exciting. Yeah, we're lucky to have her.
Grand National winning trader, Tommy Cooper.
Who'll ride her, Brian?
I'm hoping we're nothing set in form yet. Harry Swan is waiting on one of Gordon's if it's going to declare or not. So he won on her in the stall, but there's plenty of people on the phone there at the minute. So we'll see there. We'll probably have a better idea there this afternoon.
I know you sort of fell out of love with it a bit, Brian. But did you ever think about just coming back and riding bumper horses or anything like that?
No, I had too many winners. I would have been back riding on the flat when I see the lifestyles they have there during the winter, but I would have had to cut off an arm and a leg. No, I would never been able to get an amateur license back. So I'm delighted with what I'm doing here now. It's a great routine going. I'm very lucky to have it. So it's working well at the minute, and we'll try to keep it going.
I just want to finally with you, Brian, just give some bankers or blowouts. If I throw some names at you, it's just all you got to say is banker or blowout. This will be hard for you, Paddy, because you've probably never heard of most of these. But anyway, the first one is Dr. Steinberg. Banker or blowout, Brian?
Blowout.
Paddy?
Have
you heard of him?
No.
Okay. You just say banker.
Banker.
Okay. Narciso has. And Boylesports incidentally have boosted his price, industry top price, to 4-1 from 100 to 30. But has he a chance, Brian?
Yeah, I think he's a banker. He improved massively at Leopardstown, so I think he'll improve again.
And that's a banker at 4-1.
I do know this one because you told me about it last time.
Okay. Is it a banker or blowout? Okay. Do you want to go through his opposition?
No.
Okay, we'll leave that for now.
What's second favourite?
Romeo Coolio, banker or blowout?
Blowout.
You can't say banker now. You've tipped up. Go bet the board.
This is where you put us in a difficult position. We like getting Dave on the phone or get us guest as well on Unbridled. If I say blowout, you got to answer against him.
He thinks you're a you-know-what anyway. I wouldn't worry.
If Quebec or Quebec de Boards or whatever it's called doesn't run, he's a banker. Is that the best way of putting it?
Just to answer the question.
Banker.
Banker, Romeo Coolio. Go bet the board. No chance, says Paddy. Galopin Des Champs, banker or blowout? Brian?
Banker.
Coop says banker.
Blowout.
Oh, one of the great Gold Cup horses. Final demand?
Banker.
Banker.
I think that was easy. Marine Nationale.
Blowout.
Oh, so bitter about losing the job with Barry Connell. Right, here we go.
I never had it. He robbed our Connor off me.
To be fair. Paddy?
I'm going to go banker.
Okay, and Lossiemouth. Not Big Mouth, Lossiemouth.
Blowout.
Yeah, it's a hard one because basically she's got every chance, hasn't she?
Yeah, I'm going to go.
You're basically saying you'd rather have
banker.
the field rather than Lossiemouth, but I don't know. I don't think you can really call her a banker or a blowout. She's got every chance of winning, basically. But you've got to. That's the game.
You're asking us to call him something.
I am. It's the game.
Banker and
what?
Blowout are two very dangerous words. Because if you make
she's probably not going to. She's not going to blow out completely either. So she's probably finish second. So
if you make us say banker and blowout 5 more times
in the same sentence, you've used those words in a different.
Two very dangerous words.
You have. You've used those in a different context in your past, haven't you? Okay. Have you given the answer yet? Banker or blowout?
Banker.
Okay. That is right. That is it. Brian, you can stay here with us just for the end because that is the end of Unbridled. Brian, you're going to be joining us again before Cheltenham. So
yes, Brian.
Thank you so much. Paddy requested this as well. So
you just told me I didn't want him on earlier.
Just trying to ease the pain, okay? Don't forget our new Boylesports offer, of course. Get £40 in free bets when you join and bet, plus money back as a free bet if second to the SP favourite. Check out the link in the YouTube description below. Competition time reminder for your chance to win a new Unbridled travel mug. Absolutely fantastically. These are well made.
I like it.
The one thing about our merch is that it's quality merch. Nothing has been quality.
No.
Could actually do with a few of these to sell myself.
Can I get one in the post there? crappy coffee
I
mug
think
here.
you're getting a
we'll do that,
Boylesports
Brian.
one.
We'll sort
All you got to say is who you think will win in the DRF this weekend. I think there'll be quite a lot of final demands, don't you?
Yeah.
In the comments below. Thank you very much for our associates, Boylesports. Thank you for watching. Thank you to Sean Flanagan, for Rich Ricci. Actually, just before we go, bear with me here. Just before we go, just in case we do get an answer at the very end, I did just want to very quickly call this fella, give him one more chance. But we don't think that Jimmy Mangan is the type of man that will carry his mobile phone with him.
I think Brian might have other stuff to be doing.
No, Brian's got
I've 4 more lots to go out right here.
Do you know what I mean?
No, he's not going to answer. Oh, Jimmy!
Hey, how you going?
It's Matt Chapman. Sorry to disturb you, Jimmy. You're live on my podcast. Well, it's not mine actually. It's me and Paddy's podcast with Bryan Cooper as well. 2 Gold Cup winners.
Oh, good.
That probably means nothing to you, Jimmy. But I just wanted to quickly check on how Spillane Towers come out of the race.
He came out of it very well. Very well. Yeah.
And tell. Well,
You honestly think he wouldn't have that he hadn't the race, really, you know? Yeah.
Amazing. And as JP said, Jimmy, train him for the Gold Cup.
I haven't been speaking to him. You have to ring Frank about that.
Okay. And finally, can I hear a cow in the background?
Hear cows.
Yeah, I'm here with the cattle. I have a good few cattle. Yeah.
Jimmy, final words. Could you just say to me, and that was Unbridled?
Yeah, he was unbelievable, really. You know, he's jumped. You know, one little mistake, I think. But other than that, he was spot on. You know, but he showed me that when he won the 2 great ones, you know, that it was just a matter of time to get him back on track. You know. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Jimmy, you're a legend. Just final thing. Could you close the show and just say that was Unbridled?
It was unbridled, no doubt about it.
Not bad.
Up! Hey, Jimmy Mangan! Goodbye, everyone. Thank you very much.
Right.